Hi, I'm your host, Larry Smith, and you're listening to Speak Out Podcast, a community outreach of the Lawrence County Career Technical Center in Moulton, Alabama. Today, my co-host is Madison Hitt, a junior at Hatton High School and an advanced manufacturing student at the Lawrence County Career Technical Center. Hi, Madison. Let's welcome our guest to the show.
Hi, Larry. We're excited to introduce our guest for the podcast, Felicia Patel.
Felicia Patel is currently a freshman at California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo, California, majoring in computer science. At LCHS, Felicia participated in FBLA, FCCLA, and played soccer for 2 years. She graduated as the valedictorian of the class of 2021. During high school, Felicia had activities outside of school, such as an internship with Lockheed Martin and coding camps like Google, CSSI, and Code with Clossie. She competed through FBLA and won third place at the state competition for web design. For FCCLA, Felicia and her partner won gold at the state and national competitions for interpersonal communications, and their team won silver at state and qualified for nationals the following year. Some of her personal hobbies include drawing, reading, and listening to music. In college, Felicia is a member of the Society of Women Engineers Club. Felicia just finished finals, which was stressful. It's been a fun transition moving across the country, and she's met some really awesome people. Right now, Felicia is home for winter break, but will head out in January for her next quarter at college. Welcome to Speak Out, Felicia.
I'll get the podcast started with the first question. You mentioned participating in FBLA and FCCLA in your bio. For those who are not familiar, will you tell the audience what those are?
So FBLA is Future Business Leaders of America, and through that we got to do a lot of competitions like at the state or national levels. And as you mentioned in the bio, I won third place in web design, which was really cool. It was a fun experience. Miss Burden actually is the chapter lead for our school. And FCCLA is like a Future Community Leaders of America. And so I got to compete through that too, and I got to go to state and nationals with my partner, which was really fun. And you get to meet a lot of people through both clubs, and it's really fun to experience new things that you might get interested in the future.
Well, how did you become interested in computer science?
So in 7th grade, I quit band, and then I had to replace that elective with another one, and robotics was the only one. So we actually did maybe a week or two on coding, and I really liked it. And because our school doesn't have computer science classes, I tried to learn on my own, and I really liked it. So I wanted to do that as my future.
Were you already trying to learn about computers at home? Did you have a computer at home and you were just always messing with different programs and stuff?
Yes, I was. When I was little, I would always be on the computer, and I didn't really realize how that would affect me in the future. But yeah, I did do that a lot.
That's what I thought.
You have to be a great math or science student to be successful in computer science.
It would be helpful, definitely. I feel like math is my strongest subject, and maybe that kind of pushed me towards computer science more, but it will definitely be helpful if you are good in math. You might struggle a bit if you're not, but there's always different areas in computer science, like design and UI, UX, which is not as math heavy, but it's still coding.
Well, when you were here at the Lawrence County Career Technical Center, what was the most useful thing that you learned?
Oh, there's many. So I took business classes through Miss Burden, and then robotics and electronics through Miss Crumpton. And I got to learn a lot of different aspects, I guess, in technology as well, and business, which is really helpful. Even though our school doesn't have a computer science course, I think they might have one now, but when I was here they didn't. So they both really helped me learn more. Even though they didn't know much about computer science, they provided me outlets to learn, which was really nice, and I owe them a lot.
So when you were here at the Career Technical Center, you were starting to get the idea that you wanted to do this as
Yes, well,
a career.
even back in 7th grade, I felt like I knew that this was what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just really nice to have their support and help, even though they didn't know much about it. It really helped me, push me towards that more.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to do an internship at Lockheed Martin while in high school. Can you tell us how that happened and what was the experience like?
So, like, through FBLA, there's this website called Tallo where you put your resume online. And I put mine on there as part of, like, an activity that we had to do. And a recruiter from Lockheed actually saw it, and I had no idea that he saw it. So he messaged me on there and asked me if I'd be interested because he thought I'd be, like, a competitive student who would qualify for it. So I got to the interview, and then the manager liked me enough to want me to be an intern with another girl, which was really cool. The experience overall, it was kind of hard adjusting because Lockheed is kind of a secretive, kind of company, and you need a clearance and stuff, which we didn't have at the time. So we kind of did like small tasks, but I still learned a lot about like the business, and it made me realize like that's not the area I want to go into, which is really nice because sometimes people expect you to want to go into those kind of industries after an internship, but it really showed me like that's not what I was meant to do. But overall, it was a great experience. I got to meet a lot of people, and I got to learn a lot through them too.
What was your favorite thing about that internship?
Just being able to be in that setting, like even during COVID, it was really nice to have an experience outside of school to actually learn about the industry and really understand how things work there.
Were you working with other interns?
Yes, I had one other high school intern with me. We both were interns for both of the summers that we worked there.
And that person from a different school?
Yes, she went to James Clemens, I believe.
Well, what was your least favorite thing about the internship?
Sometimes it was really hard finding things to do because of all the classifications and stuff. So sometimes we would just sit around, and that was kind of hard to deal with. And we like told our manager to. He did his very best to find us work. But that was kind of hard to deal with when you're just sitting there and like feel like you're not getting much out of it. But overall, it was a great experience, I feel like.
That's good.
I'm interested in an opportunity like you had with the internship. What can I do to better prepare myself for an internship or employment?
Just put yourself out there, make connections with people, definitely talk to people in the industry that you're interested in, and like get your resume out there. Like try to build that up with maybe like small projects on your own. That can really help you. In CS, it definitely helps with small projects. I'm not really sure about advanced manufacturing, but if you can maybe like do some things on your own and like really build up your resume and get yourself out there, that would be really helpful.
You seem to be really involved in a lot of activities in high school. How did you manage your time to stay on top of your schedule when you were in high school?
Time management is really important. I tried to do my work as soon as I could. Like right when I get home, I would do my homework just so I can get it out of the way. And like with after school activities, I tried to prioritize, like the important things. And I feel like more than anything, I had quite a bit of time, honestly, because schoolwork I'd get out of the way pretty quickly, and then after school activities would last maybe like 2 to 3 hours. So I would still have a pretty good day after. But it's definitely important to manage your time and prioritize the important things.
What is something you wish you learned or had experience with in high school?
Ooh, I wish I had CS classes here, honestly. That was a big thing. Because the year I could take the CS class, the teacher had left. So I went throughout high school without any CS classes. I wish I had opened up more and talked more to people because I was quite quiet while I was here. So that's another thing I wish I had done differently.
Well, here at the Career Technical Center, though, definitely the classes that you took here prepared you, though, to move forward with your career.
Yes, definitely. I definitely think that, like I mentioned, even though they didn't have any experience in CS, they still helped me the best that they could.
And so then when you first went to college, is that when you actually first began getting the material you needed, the classes you needed to learn?
Yes, I finally took my first CS class, which I was really excited about. And the summer coding camps actually helped with that class because what I did this past summer was basically that class. So I passed very easily with that.
And you were already interested in that before you went to college. Were you studying that at home? And
Yes, I was trying to learn on my own as well, through the summer camps and just online platforms like Codecademy. I would try to learn on my own, but it's quite different and hard to do it on your own rather than with a professor.
Right.
Yes.
What is one skill that all students need?
I would say time management and really trying to find what your passions are. And that can come later in life too. Not everybody really knows what they want to do, but really manage your time well and figure out, like, try different things. Like, don't be afraid to try different things because you never know what you might like.
Okay.
Tell us about your current college experience.
So I finished up my first quarter. It's been pretty fun, I think. I got to meet a lot of different people and experience new things, especially in California. It's quite different from here. So the classes were pretty okay. I had one class that I had trouble with, which was funny because it was my general class, actually. So I got my first B in that class, but I had A's in the rest of my classes, which is really funny. I just had a tough time with that professor, but I made it through. It's very fun, but also hard. Like, I've been through a lot of slumps in college too. Like, I felt like I didn't want to do anything, and homework stressed me out, but I made it through, and I'm ready for next quarter.
How did you end up going out to California to go to college?
I always wanted to live in California, and like tech is really big there as well. So I that was like my main goal, to get to California, I guess. But I had another option in New York for school, but my mom said no to that. So I ended up in California, and I have a lot of family there too, which helps. Okay. And just the main reason is that tech is really big there, and I really like the atmosphere in California.
Are there opportunities for internships where you're at in California?
Oh, definitely. I applied to one for Google STEP. I'm interviewing in January for that, actually. So that's in Mountain View, California. And you can basically find any internship in California. Or my school actually has like a handshake page where you can apply through the school. So companies really like to see kids from college, like at certain colleges, and they really recruit from those. So that's really helpful.
And how long will you be going to college to get the degree that you're interested in?
Right now it's looking like 4 years, I believe.
Okay, so you're, a year? How far are you into that now?
I'm a quarter into it, so I have 2 more quarters left this year. It's around 3 quarters each year, but I'm going to do some summer classes too to help supplement that.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about your future plans after you get out of school.
Well, hopefully I'll work at a tech company as a computer scientist or a software engineer. I don't really know which path I want to go into in CS yet. I don't know if I want to do like artificial intelligence or like design. I'm interested in both, and they're like kind of on opposite ends. So once I figure that out, then I'll know more about which area I want to go into.
Well, when you say design, what does that mean?
So like web design or mobile application design, basically you look at, or like you study how users use things and how, like, which formats work better or more available to people and what's easier to use. So you get to design like websites, apps, games, things like that.
And you have done some website design.
I have, yes.
For others before. And are you maintaining any websites or doing some stuff now with websites?
No, not right now because of school. It has taken up a lot of my time. Last summer I did try to start on a personal project, but I was so busy with everything else, like the internship and coding camp, that I didn't maintain it.
So a long time ago it was really just HTML was really what the website was made from. And that's really changed a lot. It's actually gotten a little bit more complicated or difficult to design a website.
Yeah, definitely. Well, HTML and CSS, like that's the design and like the text aspect, and then you can include JavaScript to like, animate and add more features to it. So definitely, it's quite hard, I guess.
Well, and what about artificial intelligence?
That I have no experience with, but I feel like it would be really cool because I've watched videos and stuff on it. And my mentor at school is actually in the AI concentration, and she seems to really like it. She said it's a great field to go into, especially because that's like what tech is all about right now, is artificial intelligence.
And just finally, is there any advice, what's some more advice that you could give to our students that will help them as they continue through high school and go to college? Any final words of advice?
Even though you may not be motivated, try your best. I know it can be hard, like you feel burnout all the time. I felt it all the time in high school. because I would always try to give my best, and then I'd like run out of energy. But just try your best, and take care of yourself, mainly of your mental health as well, because that's very important.
Well, Felicia, thank you for being our guest today on Speak Out Podcast.
Thank you for having
Madison,
me.
thank you for being my co-host today.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Speak Out Podcast, a community outreach of the Lawrence County Career Technical Center in Moulton, Alabama. I'm your host, Larry Smith, and I would like to thank my co-host, Madison Hitt, and our guest today, Felicia Patel. Please check out our podcast on the Lawrence County Career Technical School website, and we hope that you will join us for future episodes.